Hello viewers, my name is Sorbe. Today I'll be talking to you on what I titled Comparing and Competing. Which among them is really good for us to practice in our daily life? Is it good to compare or is it good to compete? Most of us were brought up in communities where we're actually taught that we shouldn't compare with people, but we should compete with people because competition most at times can bring out the best performance in us. But my question is, must we compare with people before we actually perform well in whatsoever thing that we are doing in life? One thing about these two words is that they are actually related. If we do not compare our lives to the lives of other people, we cannot go competing with them. If we do not compare our performances to the performances of other people, we cannot go competing with them. If we do not compare our careers or businesses with that of other people, we cannot go competing with them. If life was a game, at this point, I will tell you that you should compare and you should compete, because in a game, we need just a single winner and any other person will be a loser, and I don't want you to ever lose. But since life is not a game, it means that we can have a win-win. You can win, I can win, everybody can win, and we don't need anybody in life to be a loser before we can actually win. In a game, somebody must lose. One thing you must get to understand about a competitor is that he doesn't just want to be like you. He wants to be more than you, and he will do everything possible to make sure that happens, even if it means fighting your own progress. Competitors are opponents, and in life, opponents are not friends, but an obstacle we must face. That is why you will never find a politician making friends with his fellow politicians, because they know the game. Lucifer compared himself to God and then competed with him. He was defeated in the battle and casted away as the devil we all know today. You have seen the results of competition among nations. You have seen the results of competition among ministers of God. You have seen the results of competition among politicians. You have seen it among students. Permit me to share this with you. Back in my high school days, I used to share my little knowledge with my fellows, after which I would tell them, don't compare with me. I intentionally did this because I don't want to see any of them as an opponent. I know this might sound funny, but actually no one would like to share his knowledge or skills with his opponent, because you would just like be giving them a chance to conquer you. I want you to realize that there is something in you that others do not have, and there is something in others that you do not have. And the only way we all can succeed in the life we live is if we actually share with one another what we have. But how can this be possible when we make ourselves adversaries to one another? Instead of competing with those that are more than us, why don't we emulate and admire them? I tell you, they will share with you wonderful ideas that you would have never imagined. All because you choose to admire them and to emulate them. One problem with this generation of ours is that nobody wants to learn. Everybody wants to use the ladder without learning how to use the ladder. And even those that have learned how to use it, nobody wants to learn from them. You want to be a master of yourself by day. I want to tell you this. You need to go through a process. Why don't you believe in the phrase, one day at a time? When we choose to compete with others in life, we give ourselves many chances of failure, because those we compete with at times are those that were meant to give us a lifting hand when the storms of life hits us down. And just because we competed with them, we actually scare them away. And when there is time that we need help, nobody can offer it, because we have chosen that we are actually the oracles in our jungles. You don't have to compete with anyone before you be who you really have to be in this life. You don't have to compete with anyone before you succeed in life. You don't have to compete with anyone before you make progress, before you overcome your struggles. You don't have to compete. You don't even have to compete with anyone before you make heaven. I am a preacher, and there are so many of us out there. I don't think I have to compare with anyone to say what I have to say, or compete with anyone to do what I have to do. If actually you have something to say and you have something to do that can better your life or better the life of some other persons around you, why don't you just go ahead and say it, or go ahead and do it? You definitely don't need to compare with anyone to do what you really have to do. I need you to understand that you are actually unique, and you can do what God says that you can do. Let me share with you those you should compare and compete with. If you compare with those behind you, you will be tempted to be satisfied with average success. So I will tell you, don't compare yourself with those behind you. If you compare yourself with those ahead of you, you will be tempted to envy them, and the aspiration for greatness will kill you. So I will tell you, don't compare yourself with those ahead of you. I know you're beginning to ask so many questions already. Like, who else am I going to compare and compete with? If I'm not comparing and competing with those ahead of me or with those behind me, who else? Let me tell you this. You can compare yourself with yourself. This is how it works. Compare your yesterday with your today. The results of your analysis is going to tell you if you have been making progress or not. After which, you can compete with your future and see how to beat your calendar and hit your target on time. In this way, you will experience an amazing change, because every day in your life is going to be a day for you to do something new or something you have never done. And that is the way forward, making every day count. Hello guys, thank you for watching up to this point. I hope those words did mean something to you. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell so that you don't get to miss any of our videos. Like, share and comment, because someone out there would really like to read your comments on this video. I would really like to read your comments. See you next time.